Today I'm going to discuss an intervention that specifically targets sugar-sweetened beverages as a way of addressing our nation's biggest health issues, including but not limited to obesity, diabetes, declining oral health, and cardiovascular disease. A tax on sugar-sweetened beverages has already seen success in reducing the sales of sugary drinks in Mexico, parts of California, and parts of France. Even the UK has a draft legislation for a tax on sugar-sweetened drinks, which is set to begin from April 2018. Taxes became commonplace for products from large, money-hungry industries such as alcohol and tobacco, and were initially put in place to simply gather revenue, but have been and will continue to be raised, specifically to try and discourage and reduce the rates of consumption of such harmful products. Taxes were eventually pushed to be increased for these specific products, as the evidence from increased healthcare costs and societal harm became insurmountable. As is evident in many recent studies, the relationship between outright costs and their consumption has a direct effect on harmful outcomes, deeming taxes the most effective way to control both heavy and light users of harmful products. The evidence from studies on the effects of taxes on tobacco are a leading argument as to why sugar tax may be an effective intervention to sugar consumption. Other notable strengths of this intervention are that initially, if consumption is not deterred by such a tax, funds raised will be substantial and can help foot the bill for health promotion and interventions that may not have been possible otherwise. And when the intervention does start to deter consumers, the taxpayer is predicted to save millions of dollars in avoided healthcare bills, which are currently sitting at over $1.5 billion per annum. Evidence aside, we're going to take it to the streets to find out what our nation thinks about a proposed sugar tax. Have you heard of the sugar tax before? And if so, do you know anything about it?
No.
I've not heard of the sugar tax.
Briefly, yeah? Yeah.
No.
They are taxed on it. It is similar to your tobacco companies.
I feel it would definitely have an impact, but I feel probably disproportionately against low-income families.
Really?
That would probably be good because I mean the price of Coke and so cheap, like the budget drinks you can get now.
If your favourite drink cost an extra 10 cents, would you notice?
No, not in like a grand scheme of things. No, it wouldn't stop me from buying it.
10 cents? I don't think I'd even look at it.
Would that be enough to put you off?
Probably not.
How much would have to be put on to a product like a Coca-Cola or something for you to notice?
Probably like 50 cents.
10 cents is not enough, but if you put $1 onto $3, it's something that I'll start to think about.
While there are many experts in New Zealand that think this tax is a good idea and would have positive flow-on effects to our communities, there are some points that need to be considered when discussing New Zealand's involvement. I'll play devil's advocate here a little to highlight some of these considerations. One cause for concern is that this tax may well just make the poor poorer, as it will affect the poor and the wealthy disproportionately. This is a valid point, as price increases will be felt more by lower income families, but an easy solution for many is just to opt for the cheaper brand. For example, moving effortlessly from Coca-Cola to the big budget brand bottles that are only 99 cents. The reason there has been such efficacy from taxes on tobacco is because the increases are significant enough for people to really have to think about their purchase, and it continues to be increased, with no sign of stopping. I fear that a flat 10-cent increase on sugary drinks, such as Mexico has done, would not have enough weight to change many people's decisions, if it's noticed at all. Another reason that the sugar tax may not work as simply as the tobacco and alcohol taxes are, is there are so many more substitutes to sugary drinks, and where do you draw the line? Flavoured milk is not included in the sugar tax levy, yet it contains 12 grams of natural sugar with an added 8 grams in most cases. This brings it up to, if not above, Coca-Cola and Mountain Dew. This tax is said to help with the burden of increased costs we are seeing with dental care and health bills, which from the years 2015 to 16 were $46 million for children under the age of 12's dental care, and an obesity bill of over $1 billion. But if this tax is successful, then we shouldn't see much revenue at all, should we? Although it may not sound like it, I am 100% behind this tax, and as such I'll give you my recommendations for implementing it. I think for this intervention to be really effective in New Zealand, and for New Zealand to really take note, this should be a policy that is rolled out hand in hand with subsidised healthy foods such as vegetables and even water availability to children, so that the message is really clear that making healthy decisions and our country's well-being is of the utmost importance to our government. This tax should not be seen as a silver bullet to cure all, but more as another angle to a multifaceted approach to tackle our top-ranking health issues, along with our current methods already in place. If we're leading the world in these modern-day disastrous health issues, we should be the leaders in modern-day interventions also.